So we're back with Tom Hegna, author of the book Don't Worry, Retire Happy. I always think of that song, Don't Worry, Be Happy. Do, 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 do. Is that where you got that title or no?
No, but I mean, we play that song sometimes, prior to me speaking or talking.
Yeah, you should do like a coming out of retirement. Like, didn't the Rolling Stones do some type of ad campaign with annuities? You could do something with the Don't Worry, Be Happy
people. The Alliance
people.
for Lifetime Income. The Alliance for Lifetime Income is a nonprofit organization, and they promote how to retire the optimal way. And so, of course, they're going to be positive towards annuities because you can't retire optimally without an annuity. I mean, that's a fact. And so, they get the researchers, they get the PhDs. I'm a senior education advisor for them as well. And they were the sole sponsor of the Rolling Stones concert.
Yeah. And what was the tagline? I can't get no satisfaction without annuities? What was the...
No, I can't even remember the tagline.
It was something like that, though. It was funny. So you talked about sequence of returns risk. Break that down, because I think the average retiree or pre-retirement or somebody planning for retirement, sequence of returns risk should be like the number one thing they know about, and they don't have any clue about it. Talk about it first. What is it, and how can you protect yourself from it?
Yeah, I'm on record saying that sequence of returns risk is going to wipe out the retirements of tens of millions of baby boomers because most of them don't even know what it is. And all sequence of returns risk means is that the day you retire and start taking money out of a portfolio, average returns mean nothing. Now, why is that a big deal? Well, because your entire life as a saver and investor, average returns mean everything. I mean, if you can get 6%, it's better than 4. If you get 8%, it's better than 6. If you get 10%, it's better than 8. If you get 12%, it's better than 10. So our entire investing life, average returns mean everything. And then the day we retire, they mean nothing, because you can average 10% a year for 22 years in retirement, only take out 5% and go dead broke just like that. People don't understand it. And what it means is, let me try to explain it in English. If you retire and the first few years of the market that you're in retirement, the market goes down, down, down while you're pulling out money, you are highly likely to run out of money. Conversely, if you retire and you're taking money out of a portfolio, in the first few years the market goes up, 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 you're highly likely to be successful. You see, what people think is, well, the market's averaged 12% a year since 1924. So, of course, I can take out 8 or 10%. Well, no, you can't. I mean, it used to be 4% was considered safe. Now 4% isn't safe. Morningstar says it's 2.8%. Dr. Wade Faust says it's 2.4%. So the market average is 12%, but you can only take out 2.8% or 2.4%. People don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to them. But it has everything to do that when the market is going down and you're taking money out, all the money you take out never grows back up when the market goes up. So then the market goes down again, and you're taking money out, taking money out, taking money out. The market goes back up, and then that goes back. And all it takes is a couple dips early in retirement, and that portfolio can enter a death spiral that it will never climb out of. I mean, I'm just telling you, people do not understand it. Well, here's another big risk. Many people work for a company, have their 401k with that company, and then put that company stock in the 401k. I mean, you do not want to have more than about 5 or 10 or 15% of your portfolio in your own company stock. I don't care how great the company was. Think about General Electric. I mean, it was the best company in the world for many years, and then that stock crashed, and many of those General Electric people were wiped out. And Enron, the same thing. I mean, I can go right down the list of companies that have had problems. So I don't care how great you think your company is. Have some stock there, but don't have all your 401k and your pension and your paycheck and everything. You don't want to have it all from one place. You've got to diversify.
So we talked about sequence of return risk. What other risks or mistakes are retirees or pre-retirees making right now?
Well, another big one is they don't have a plan for long-term care. No retirement plan is complete without a plan for long-term care. It's the one thing most people forget about that can wipe out their entire life's work. And I'm very familiar with this. Both my parents were in assisted living. Now, I made them buy long-term care insurance 18 years ago. They didn't want to. It's too expensive. We'll never need it. It's an insurance company ripoff. My dad said all those words to me. I made them buy it. They were in assisted living, $10,000 a month. $10,000 a month. There were years my my dad didn't even make $10,000 a year. I cannot imagine their retirement if they didn't have those policies. And every day I see tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. Oh, my mom just went into assisted living, or my dad's in a nursing home. How are we going to pay for it? Yeah, they got to spend all their money down. Then they go on Medicaid. It's welfare. And I don't know if you've ever been in a Medicaid facility. That'd be a good homework assignment. Send all your clients out to the Medicaid facilities and take a big whiff out there. That's not where I want to spend my last years. I want to spend it in my house. I call long-term care insurance anti-nursing home insurance. It's stay-at-home insurance. It's stay-in-control insurance. And I just think whether you buy long-term care insurance or you buy a life insurance policy with a long-term care benefit, or if you have medical problems you can't qualify, then buy an annuity that springs up with a bunch of income in your 70s and 80s. Any plan is better than no plan, but you got to have a plan.
Talk a little about the life insurance with a long-term care rider. People are curious about that one.
Well, okay, so the thing that people don't like about long-term care insurance is it's expensive. You have to go through very detailed underwriting, and then some of the premiums went up, and so they were promised this premium, but then the company raised the premium. Well, when you buy a life insurance policy with a long-term care rider, that premium's guaranteed never to go up. You're buying a bucket of money. You're like buying $200,000 or $500,000 or $1 million of coverage, okay? And that's not going to change, all right? And so it does a number of things. Number one, if you die, it's a death benefit tax-free for family. If you need emergency fund, you could get money out of it. But if you need long-term care, there's even more benefit to pay for the long-term care. And so, I really don't care which way people go. I think the life insurance with a long-term care rider is becoming more popular than traditional long-term care insurance. But long-term care insurance still has probably richer benefits. But I just think that the life insurance with the long-term care rider fits more people because every dollar solves three purposes. It's an emergency fund, it's a death benefit for their kids or spouse, and then there's a long-term care benefit. So it's kind of 3 in 1.
Now, what about the indemnity policies versus reimbursement? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, I mean, to me, more important whether it's indemnity or reimbursement, the difference is the payment would go to the assisted living facility, or the payment goes to you and then you pay the assisted living facility. But to me, what's more important is that you get home health care. If I buy anything to do with long-term care, I want home health care. I don't want to go to a facility. I want to stay in my house. And if I have a big enough benefit, the nurse has to come to me, okay? And I get to stay in my house till the day I die. And that's the way I prefer to do it. And I think after COVID, I don't know a lot of people that are just, wanting to go live their final years in a nursing home. I just don't see that.
Yeah, it's really going to be a national dilemma as all these boomers are aging. What do we do with our aging population? I mean, you saw what happened with COVID. So many died tragically in nursing homes. And it to me, that even underscores the need more for insurance to cover the risk. I mean, I heard, as others were dying, I heard certain insurance companies, I don't know if you can testify to the truthfulness of this claim, but I read somewhere that certain life insurance companies were actually paying for people to not die. Did you hear about that? It was an interesting article I read.
Well, I didn't hear that specifically, but I mean, that's what long-term care insurance does. It provides the money to take care of them so that they don't die. But like I said, to me, what's very important is to get home health care, because I want to stay in my house. I want the nurse to come to me. And most of these long-term care policies, if you need a walk-in bathtub, they'll replace your bathtub with a walk-in bathtub. If you need things on the halls to bars to walk, they'll do that. If you need a ramp for your wheelchair to come up, they'll do that. And so those are some of the benefits in some of these long-term care policies. They will adapt your house so that you can stay there.
Yeah, because in some ways it's cheaper for the insurance company. They just got to hire a nurse. They don't have to pay for all the facility fees, all that stuff. So what would you say to somebody? I hear this a lot. My kids, they're not going to let me go into a nursing home. I don't need long-term care coverage for that. And I always tell them, and I want your take on this. I always tell them, well, I want you to go to a nursing home if you're allowed to go with COVID, but when you can go, go. And take a poll of all the residents of a nursing home and ask them, did they want to go here? Was this a part of their plan? And I bet you everyone says no.
Yeah, and just because you say, well, my kids won't let me go in a nursing home, who's going to pay for your care? It's not fair for your kids who are working and they got families of their own that they're going to pay for all of your care. Where's that money going to come from? See, if you've got home health care, many of them allow your children to take care of you, and they will reimburse for that. So if you want to stay at home and you want your kids to take care of you, then you buy a policy that will provide the funds to do that. But there's no free lunch out there. And I'll tell you, if you start needing a lot of care, your kids can't do it. I mean, and you know what? Here's another thing. If you study this, the caregiver's life expectancy goes down significantly because it is stressful. It is hard, especially when people have sundowners or they're yelling and they're screaming and they're mad and then they can't control their bodily functions, and then there's total cleanup all the time. That gets to be very, very, very stressful. It is very, very hard. And if you think your kids are just going to be happy doing that, I think you got another thing coming. I just don't think the average kid can do that very well. And what I'd rather have is the money to have a nurse come in to do all the things that I need, and I can sit and talk to my kids and spend quality time with my kids, not having them taking care of me, giving me a bath and going to the bathroom. I don't want that. Don't you want to keep your dignity in retirement? I do.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, you want to be there for your family during their end of life, not necessarily. I mean, you see that the caregivers get a little resentment of the people they're taking care of. And, then they suffer a lot of caregivers' guilt and a shorter life expectancy. Because think about this. If you're 80, let's say you're a dutiful wife of a 90-year-old man, are they really going to be able to lug their husband to the bath to give a sponge bath or anything of that nature? It's just, I don't think a kid could. I mean, during my mother's last weeks of life, and she was really bad for like a month or two. I mean, it was tough. It was tough to take care of her, and if it wasn't for my sister, my sister was able to be there virtually every day. But it was a tough road. I can't imagine people go through stuff for years.
And it tears families apart, because here you've got a daughter who's close, who has to do all the work. Then you've got a son who's in California, way across the country, and another daughter or son that's over there. And then the one feels resentful because they're the ones the burden is 100% on them. And the other people are not sharing the burden, and they really can't. How do they do it? They're going to quit their job and move from California to New York. And so there's all these other issues. And that's why you got to have a plan for long-term care. I can't stress it enough.
That's so good. So we go into different mistakes, sequence of retirement risk, not knowing about annuities, long-term care. What are some other mistakes retirees make or pre-retirees?
Taking too much money out too fast, and then they run out of money. Remember, in income annuities, the only product in the world you can buy, the only product that will guarantee you will never, ever, ever run out of money. It's the only product that will do that. And I think at least a portion, for the average person, be 20 to 40% of their portfolio should go into some type of income annuity, the paycheck, okay? And then they can do whatever they want with the rest of it. I think taxes are going to go up. I mean, it's in the news every single day. I mean, this administration wants to raise a lot of taxes. And so I've been moving more of my personal wealth to cash value life insurance, and I've converted my IRAs and 401ks to Roth, because I think tax-free income in retirement is going to be so critical. And so I've arranged it that I can take tax-free money out of my life insurance. I can take tax-free money out of my Roth IRAs, and many of them are income annuities, so it guarantees me tax-free income for the rest of my life. And so I think taxes are another big thing that people need to plan for. So
you put the annuity in the Roth? So you have to be a Roth annuity.
Absolutely. So step one, I converted from 401k or IRA. I rolled it into an IRA, income annuity IRA, and then I converted that to a Roth IRA.
Oh, that's
so it's
fantastic.
Income Roth IRA, and I get it tax-free for the rest of my life.
And folks, if you want to learn more from Tom Hegna, famous author, best-selling author of Don't Worry, Retire Happy, We're giving it away to those of you who schedule and keep your no obligation review at 888-988-JOSH, 888-988-JOSH, 888-988-5674. And talking about tax increases. And for those of you just joining us, I'm with Tom Hegna. We're on youtube.com now. If you have a question, you can go to the chat bar. Do we have any questions, Ernesto? You can ask us any question you want in the YouTube chat box. Also, folks, we're talking retirement income planning, really down-to-earth tactical guidance where you can understand about long-term care risks, sequence of return risks, annuities, insurance, all that stuff. What about people, you mentioned insurance. What about people who say, well, I don't need life insurance in retirement. I'm just going to let my term expire and my spouse will do fine without me on whatever I've saved.
I think that's a huge mistake. And you mentioned Retirement Alpha. That's a white paper I wrote. And Retirement Alpha, what it really is it talks about how to get the most for the least in retirement. And the way you get the most for the least in retirement is, number one, you want to spend all of your money. Don't give your kids a single penny. Don't give them a penny. Spend it all. Leave them life insurance, because you can do that for pennies on the dollar. Let me use me as an example. We got 4 kids. So one day we're sitting around saying, how much should we leave the kids? My wife said, I don't know. What do you think? I said, well, if we bought a $1 million second to die life insurance policy, name the 4 kids a beneficiary, when we're both gone, they're going to get $1 million tax-free. That's $250,000 a piece tax-free plus whatever's left over. I said, let's start there. So we bought a $1 million second to die life insurance policy, name the 4 kids a beneficiary. That policy is completely paid up. Do you know what the total cost of that $1 million policy was? $150,000. So think about this. For 15 cents on the dollar, we get to transfer $1 million tax-free to our kids. But here's the best part. Who gets to spend all the rest of the money? We do. See, when you study retirement, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to spend all of your money and then leave life insurance to your spouse, to your kids, to charity, okay? Don't leave them money. Spend your money. And so what happens is most people are not enjoying their retirements. They're underspending. They're living what I call a just-in-case retirement. They don't touch their money. They don't touch their money. I used to bust my clients and say, wait a minute. You told me when you retired you're going to join the country club. You're going to buy a new boat. You're going to see the world. Have you done that yet? No, we haven't done that yet. You know why? Because just in case, interest rates are so low, the market's so volatile, and so they don't touch their money, they don't touch their money, they don't touch their money, then they die. What happens to money? Goes to the kids. Well, the kids do with it. They join the country club. They buy a new boat. They go see the world. I make it so clear. I want you to join the country club. I want you to see the world. I do not want you to live a just-in-case retirement. And that's what I talk about in Retirement Alpha. And that's what I talk about in Don't Worry, Retire Happy. And by the way, Retirement Alpha is really just a white paper that's a summary of all the white papers. Remember I talked about all those PhDs, all those economists who are unanimous on the use of annuities? All that information is in Retirement Alpha. And you just should leave life insurance to your kids and then spend all of your money. The last check you ought to write ought to go to the undertaker, and that baby ought to bounce.
Amen. That's great. Spend it till the end. That's beautiful. So, folks, if you want to get the Don't Worry, Retire Happy book, call us at 888-988-JOSH. And you talked about tax increases, and the Biden administration, again, this week with the address to Congress, President Biden talked about more, gimmies, free college, free 2-year community college. Although a lot of states already have that free, but it's going to cost more money. And the government is going to spend more money, and then taxes are going to go up. How do you think these tax increases are going to affect retirees or soon-to-be retirees? Have you studied them?
Well, I mean, if they got all the tax increases they want, the stock market will go just plunge. So, but that's not going to happen. They're not going to get all of those tax increases. But you are going to see income taxes are going to go up, capital gains taxes are going to go up. The estate tax exemption is going to come down, and the state tax rate is going to go up. They're talking about eliminating stepped-up cost basis at death, which means your kids aren't going to be able to inherit all your stuff. They're going to have to pay taxes on all of that stuff. I mean, it is very troublesome to see all the tax increases that have been proposed. Now, they're not all going to get passed, but a bunch of them are. And that's, again, I've been predicting this for years. I've been saying for years that the taxes are going to have to go up a lot. And I said it's not a Republican or Democrat thing. This is a math problem. We need a math party, because I'm telling you, neither one of these parties can add and subtract. I even got a shirt. Somebody gave me one because I talk about it all the time. It says Republican, Democrat, math. And it's got a big check mark on the math party, because that's really what we need. We need a math party. And taxes are going to go up, which is why I position my own personal portfolio to provide me with tax-free income in retirement.
And you do the tax-free income through insurance, Roths, and what else? Or is that basically?
Yeah, Roth IRAs. My income annuities are Roth IRAs, so that's going to be tax-free income. And then I put a lot of money in my cash value life insurance policy. And the reason I try to pour so much into it is that then I can get a lot out tax-free. And so I'm going to be set with quite a bit of tax-free income from my life insurance policy, and then quite a bit of tax-free income from my Roth IRAs.
I do the same thing with insurance. Now on the insurance, cash value insurance, what about people who say, that's kind of a rip-off, don't place your money there? They're just trying to sell you insurance.
Well, I guess they're trying to compare it to the stock market or something. Don't compare cash value life insurance with the stock market. Compare it to the bond market. And if you compare cash value life insurance against what you're going to get in a CD or what you're going to get in government bonds, it's very, very, very attractive. You're going to do better in a cash value life insurance policy than you're going to do in bonds or CDs or other safe places to put your money. So the people who say it's a ripoff, they're comparing, whole life insurance to the S&P 500. Well, that's not a fair comparison. If you really want to compare it, compare the S&P 500 to variable life, because in variable life you can be invested in the S&P 500. You can be invested in international stocks, and you can take money out tax-free in retirement. So I think what's going to happen is if these tax increases go in, you're going to see variable life insurance sales skyrocket, because you have access to the markets, but you don't have a taxable event every time you buy and sell. Like if you're in a mutual fund and you buy and sell, that's taxable event. With life insurance, you can buy, sell all you want. There's no taxable event until you take money out. So, people who complain about annuities and insurance, they don't understand it, because if they understood it, they'd own a lot of it. I don't sell life insurance. I don't sell annuities. I own 11 annuities, and I've got millions of dollars in my cash value life insurance. And if these were bad products or stupid products, I would own exactly 0 of them. So, I've studied this. I've studied the research. It is math and science, and I prove it. I say, do you know what the job title is of the people who set the rates on life insurance and annuities? They're called actuaries. Do you know what actuaries have to study to become actuaries? They have to study math and science. Life insurance and annuities are based in math and science. And so when you really realize that and you study it, all of a sudden the world opens up to you, and many more solutions are available.
No, that's fantastic. So folks, we're on with Tom Hegna, best-selling author of the book Don't Worry, Retire Happy, which will be yours free if you call and schedule your no-obligation review, 888-988-JOSH, for your 45-minute strategy session. 888-988-JOSH. You'll get your very own wealth blueprint when you call us at 888-988-JOSH. That's 888-988-5674. We'll be back after this.
The preceding program was sponsored by the Jelensky Advisory Group.
Any awards, rankings, or recognition by unaffiliated third parties or publications, including 5-Star Wealth Manager, Advisory of the Year finalist by Senior Market Advisor, and top of the $1 Million Roundtable, are in no way indicative of the advisor's future performance or any individual client's investment success. No award, ranking, or recognition should be construed as a current or past endorsement of Josh Jelensky or Wealth Quarterback LLC. Information regarding specific awards, rankings, or recognitions is available on the Wealth Quarterback website at www.jelensky.org. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss. Investment strategies such as asset allocation, diversification, or rebalancing do not assure or guarantee better performance and cannot eliminate the risk of investment losses. There are no guarantees that a portfolio employing these or any other strategy will outperform a portfolio that does not engage in such strategies. This broadcast should not be construed by any client or prospective client as a solicitation to effect or attempt to effect transactions in securities securities or the rendering of personalized investment advice. Due to various factors, including changing market conditions, the information discussed in this broadcast may no longer be reflective of current positions or recommendations. While information presented is believed to be factual and up to date, Josh Jelinski and Wealth Quarterback do not guarantee its accuracy, and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. The tax and estate planning information discussed is general in nature, is provided for informational purposes only, and should not be construed as legal or tax advice. Listeners should consult an attorney or tax professional regarding their specific legal or tax situation.
Advisory services offered through Wealth Quarterback LLC.